howdy, first of all. Happy New Year. Really excited. Year two. Year two is always, I don't know, just a great time. The honeymoon's kind of over. Reality has set in. They're stuck with me now. But I'm excited. I'm excited about our class that we brought in. I'm excited about our transfers and obviously our returners. So this week has been fun. It's been our hard week. We've done some activities. If any of you guys follow us on social media, we've done some competing, and obviously been practicing quite a bit and really just gelling, getting back ready for season. We are about 25 days away from practices away, or actually days away from season. So I don't know, I'm just excited. I think that we have a lot of good ingredients, and it's going to be up to us whether or not we can kind of put them all together. But we've got a good mixture of old, good mixture of new, and really they understand what to expect out of us, now. So I don't know. It's been a good week.
What is specifically different, Trish, right now than last year?
Really, it's just the flow of things. They understand what we're doing, what our standard is. I think the other piece is, and I told them this, I'm going to be harder on you this year because we have to continue to get better. So last year, we were implementing our system, implementing kind of how we do things, and really that communication piece was really huge last year. And communication, I think, is everything in life. That's when you're successful, or when you're not successful is when you're communicating. And this year now it's like, okay, you can do X, but now I need you to do Y and Z. And really kind of, building upon the foundation we set. So little things to give you some hard-nosed examples of when we're making a throw and we're turning to, it has to be on this side of the bag. If it's not on this side of the bag, we're running. Like if it's, we're doing back doors. And so it's just, and everything that you do has to be intentional and have a purpose. And so that's what really we're working hard on, especially on year two. Like I said, year one, it's like, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it. Now you have to execute that skill at a high level. And so it's just continuing to elevate our process.
How do you feel like some of the new players and the transfers have kind of gelled with the returners and how they've brought them along into the program?
Yeah, we honestly have been spoiled the last 2 years. They've transitioned so well. Obviously with Sav and Jazz Hill, they came, from us, and then obviously we had a year break and then came back. So that's been great. And really they bring a different, intensity level from that team when we had won at a high rate. And so that's been really good to inject into our program, into our other players, and kind of see what that looks like every single day. It's very easy for you to have one good day of practice a week or 2 good days of practice. But what about the day where you don't feel great, you're sore? We all have that. I wake up every day and I feel like every body part hurts. So, how can you compete at a high level and help your teammates at a high level for you to us to continue to build this program and take it to the next step? So that's been huge. We've had obviously quite a few kids that have come back home. KP, Kennedy Powell, Kramer, and Kylie, they come back to Texas from programs. So that's been easy because, Texas A&M does a great job of recruiting players that are good people. Because if you want to come to A&M, you want to stand for those core values, and everything that I think that A&M stands for really helps in that recruiting process. And so they have played with these players their whole career, and so we've done a really good job of meshing. I would tell you in the fall, it took us a couple of months to get things going, but now we're all on the same page. We've spent a lot of time together, and we're itching to go out and compete against somebody else.
How much do those team building activities and kind of the stuff you've been doing this week contribute to that on the field success as well?
I'll tell you this, I think everything. There's every example every year in every facet of sports at a high level. The team with the most talent usually doesn't win. It's the team that has the most cohesiveness. You have to have a certain level of talent, but it's the team that has each other's back, responds to your lows, and keeps your highs even. And that's really what a lot of these activities are. They'll tell you they're not easy. They're not, woohoo, kumbaya. They're competitive, they're hard, and really as a staff, it tells us a lot about what our makeup is and who we are and how we're going to deal with the hard. Sunday of a 3-day conference series, how are you going to deal with it? Today, the weather conditions, we'll play in this. Like, it's sunny outside, it's in the 50s, it's just windy. So how are you going to deal with it? And I think really that's the whole purpose of these, we're calling them the war games, is testing to see how they are going to respond in those adverse conditions. We all do really well when we feel great and, we're 3 for 3 and, having a day. But what about those days when curveballs get, thrown at you? And that's what we're really setting them up for.
Very good.
How much of the end in Austin, do you take from that going into this year?
Yeah, the end of last season. Yeah, I didn't know if you were talking about the fall. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, I think all of us that watched the game, you saw how close we were. Like, we weren't able to execute the very small, minute things, in which it cost us the inability to continue on in postseason. But really, when you look at it, it wasn't a blowout game. There wasn't a whole lot. It was some little things that kind of compounded and we earned the loss. And I think those conversations are continuing to be had, all fall, last summer, and obviously into this year. Is the games that we lost, a lot of those were not because we were necessarily the worst team on the field. It was because we were unable to execute at a high level. And that's what I was talking about earlier of like year 2. Okay, great, we know what we're going, but are you throwing the ball here so that we can get the double play, those plays that they were safe by a step, or a play in which we had a bad read base running and we were out by a step. Those are the things that we're really on them this year that we will continue. That's how you elevate the program, is you demand more out of your athletes. You have to obviously have a certain level of talent, but you demand more. And I'm a firm believer it's parenting 101. When you demand a high standard, they will rise to the occasion. And so the honeymoon's over, like I told them, and we're going to get better. I mean, I'm not here for us to not make it past regionals. That's not what my job is. My job is for us to be a perennial top, 8, top 10 team every year, and so that's what we're working for.
I was going to ask you, so what about your expectations? You've been here a year.
Yep.
Some coaches go, we're always going to go to the College World Series, whatever. But has your expectations, maybe you touched on it, changed this year from where you were last year when you come in? This is a great job, da-da-da.
Yeah, I think and we've talked about this before, I'm not a big goals person where I sit out before the year and like, this is where we should end up. What I really want to see is us continue to step forward and play this game at a high level consistently. I felt like last year we were pretty inconsistent. We'd have really, really good games, and then the next day we'd come out and it's like, who are we, So that would be my biggest goal, is to be consistent in who we are. But at the end of the day, I think we could be a super regional team 100%. And it's just going to be whether or not we can put the pieces together. And super regional teams, a lot of things can go whichever way, and then you're at the promised land. So my goal is for us to just get to super regionals and see what happens from there. But it's just going to depend on how consistently we can execute at a high level. We have the talent. It's just going to be, are you going to love that grind? Are you going to love the day in and day out, the high level softball play, the pressure? You have to love it, which I do.